Hey, it's me, Kelly. I wanted to go for a Y2K look today. Yeah, do we like it? Do we love it? Look at my sweatshirt. Why does this look like I got it at Limited Too? Because I got it at, no, I didn't. I got it at Ross, dressed for less. And then look at these earrings. Wait, so cute. Anyways, yes, I dyed my hair black, back to black. And I go back to black because I'm depressed. That's not why I did it. But then I realized, like, as I was doing it, I was like, hey, girl, listen, you are very sad. And I've been wanting to make this video for a while. Um, and that's not to say if you have black hair, you're depressed or you're emo. It's just like a stereotype if that's not your natural color, I would say. And not everybody can pull it off. So hopefully I can pull it off because the last thing I wanted to look like would be this. That's not the look I was going for. So while I was doing it, I was like praying. I was like, please don't let me look like that. Please don't let me look like that. Please don't let me look like that. Like the whole time. Even though I've had this color before and I've had it for many years, it was like literally my signature color. But I was just like really hoping and praying because it's always a possibility. But luckily, I think it turned out all right. I got dye all over my face and all over my arms. I was gonna wear something different, but I was like, just in case I have like dye on me still, I am not taking any risks. Um, I had seen online on Oprah.com, which who knew she still had a website, but I saw that if you want to get out dye, to use oil. It said any oil will do, and to just like rub it in circular motions. And so I did that, and it did end up getting most of the dye out. I usually use dish soap, and that helps, but Revlon is no joke, and it just needed some more help. So I did the oil trick, and it worked. But I ended up smelling like popcorn and cooking and a good time in the kitchen. So after that, I needed to, mask that smell, and it was a whole thing. And then I ended up showering again. So it's been a process with this hair. Um, but yeah. Anyways, guys, I dyed my hair. Long story long. That's what's up. But I just kind of wanted to do this video and talk to you guys because I know it's been a minute. And this is actually going to segue into a new series that I'm gonna be like doing on this channel about my 75 hard light version of it challenge. Actually I might actually go hard, Mike's harder because I really need to get my life together. And I'm going to talk about that. But I do want to find the balance. So I'm going to try and not be too hard on myself. Um, you know, I'm going to give myself space to modify and do things my way. Because things are changing in my life and I'm changing, and, I want to be able to do things my way, LMA. But yeah, this is lemon water. I've been loving lemons recently. I don't know why. But last night I was like putting like Splenda on them and like eating it like candy. It was crazy. It was a lot. But yeah, I feel bougie. I feel like a queen. I want to drink lemon water. I don't know why. But I drink it so slow. I end up having the same one like all day, and it's kind of gross. But yeah, and that's kind of how that is. But yeah, it feels good to be back on camera. I love it. Um, I've been just putting it off. I don't know. I didn't know what the vibe would be. I didn't know if I was gonna get too emotional. I've been hella emotional recently, so probably not. Or if I want to keep it light, maybe that'll be the case. It's probably gonna be awkward, honestly, just because I do have a lot on my mind and a lot of it's not like the best. Um, Things to talk about, a lot of it is kind of awkward. Um, and honestly, my channel, I talk about some uncomfortable ass things. I'm most known for like the yeast infection. I've talked about depression. I've talked about social issues and different things I've gone through and like sex and everything. But like this shit is just deep, man. Um, I've just been going through it with my mental, and I've been open about it before with my struggles with bipolar, but I've been, kind of just like, oh, it's a thing of the past, and but I'm going through it, but I have it under control. Well, at this moment in time, I don't have it under control. It's ruining my life. And so I think that's why I'm like kind of like so awkward at the moment is because like I don't really know what to say. Usually I can deflect and like be like, oh, it's okay though, and, whatever. But it's not, and like I'm actually not good, so I don't really know what to say. Okay, end the video. No, just kidding. I yeah, it's ruining my life, honestly, and I think it's just because I haven't had like a consistent job. Um, and I guess I didn't realize how having that routine really did help me. Um, I see it now. Basically, what happened, my whole bipolar story, let's just get into it. I was diagnosed when I was 21 years old. And what kind of led me to get that diagnosis was that I had a lot of anxiety, and I've had a lot of anxiety my whole damn life. Like, I'm talking panic attacks when I was like in the third grade, like insane shit, like, and I've always been shy and I've always been kind of awkward, but I was always like a very sweet kid, and I always did have friends and I was pleasant to be around, but I always had like that type of anxiety, and one time my mom said something that really did upset me. She was like, you used to like light up a room when you were like a little kid. Like she's talking like when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Like she said, you lit up a room, like I was like the shining star. And I know that's like okay, but you were like 4 or 5 years old. Like, come on, girl, like you were a little kid. But she said that whenever I went to school, like all that kind of changed. And that does make sense because I do have a lot of insecurities when it comes to school and a lot of trauma when it comes to school. Um, which turned into a lot of trauma and insecurities when it came to work, um, which, didn't work out in my favor when I ended up working at a school. And why did I end up working at a school? Was because, I wanted to help, and I am a good, people person. Like I can be. Maybe I'm not. I don't fucking know at this point. But yeah, like I'm good one-on-one, and so I got a job as a para, which is basically like one-on-one interactions with students, which was good for me to have that like one-on-one interaction. Um, so that was good, and I really did like that. But in the school setting where I had so much trauma was not good because it was that anxiety like coming back to me that I had from school. And so even as an adult, it's just like, things that, you never addressed from when you're younger, you get caught when you're old, if you don't work through them. And I thought I could deal with it because I was like, I'm older now. Like, I just want to, help the kids. Like, it's really not about me. But I think I never, like, fully put it to the side. Like, I did a pretty good job, I would say, for, like, the 2 years that I was there. But it was a lot of stress on me. And I ended up getting, like, really freaking burnt out. This is a huge tangent. That was a huge tangent, but that was like one part of the story that I was trying to get to was about my burnout. Um but yeah, so I had gone to the doctor when I was 21 um for anxiety purposes. But they were basically like, "Oh no, you're manic, bitch." Um and they thought it could be like one or two things. Um, they thought I had like ADHD like type of symptoms, which after like speaking with me, you can probably see why they would say that. I do tend to go on like a bunch of tangents when I talk. I'm very animated. Um, Functionality, I feel like I'm gonna undiagnose myself with that because I don't know. Like I don't know because I feel like I know people with ADHD and even working with the schools with people, I feel like I don't function that way. I don't know. I see where they're getting at with that one. Um I, I feel like I need a second opinion there. I don't know. I see where they're getting at. Definitely. And I definitely do have trouble like doing tasks, but I feel like I don't know. That was a lot. But yeah, but they said like ADHD, but also maybe bipolar. So I talked to somebody about that, and then they had referred me to somebody else. Because that was like a more like serious like diagnosis, like more like urgent, like we need to get this figured out like right now. My bestie's texting me. Yes, queen. Okay, so yeah, so she had said to go see this other person, and then I got my diagnosis, and I had gone on medication. I had a video about this before, so I'm just gonna give you the abridged version. I had gone on medication that I didn't like it because it had made me worse and made my anxiety worse, and so I have been abusing Xanax. And that was really doing it for me. Like was it doing it for me? I don't know. It was doing something, messing up my life. But also, I was able to not be so anxious temporarily. And I guess I like that. And I wasn't getting that from whatever they have prescribed me. Which it doesn't matter what it was. I don't want to influence people either way. And don't abuse drugs. I don't approve of that at all. But yeah, that's what was happening. So I just kind of went back to that. The reason why I had gone to the doctor was because I didn't want to abuse drugs anymore. Um, but yeah, honestly, I just felt like I was having to jump through a lot of hoops to see them and talk to them and get interrogated by them. And I thought that abusing drugs would be, the easy way out, and that was helping me more than whatever they had prescribed me was. So I fell into that spiral of 5 years of that from probably ages 25 to, no, up until age 25, I would say. And then, some stuff went down and I just couldn't live like that anymore. I was kind of on and off of the benzos, and I would go through times and even years in there, probably 1 or 2 years where I would not be on them, or 6 months when I wouldn't be on them, and I would have good times. And that's bipolar for you. That's you do have those good times where you're on the straight and narrow, and then depression hits, and you're back to that dark place. So I would have times where I wasn't on it. I don't like the term clean. But I would have times where I wasn't on it and I was like, no, no more. And then I would have times where I was. I kind of kept it, not horrible. I would have some type of moderation, as much moderation as you can. Um, but it wasn't great. And I got to a point where I just was like, no, I can't do this anymore. And it was a point after some traumatic events happened, and I was like, hey, no, I need therapy. So I was going to therapy, and even when I was going to therapy, I was still using, but mostly because I wanted to open up, and that was the only way I could do it. So yeah, but after a certain point, I stopped, and I stopped for good. And it's been 2 years, over 2 years, almost like 2.5 at this point. And I'm good, you know. So yeah. But that doesn't mean that, my problem right now, the problem that I'm really struggling with the most is that just because I don't do that doesn't mean that, I have good coping mechanisms, or that, I'm different, I guess I am different, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to therapy anymore. And that really did help me for the time being. That I was in it. I was in it for like 2.5-ish years, 2 or 3 years. How old am I even? I think I was there from when I was like 24, 25 till the time I was like 26 or 27. So that's like 2-ish years, for sure 2 years. I don't know how long I was there. I was there for a while though, and it did help me a lot. It did. Um, Especially with like the trauma. But not so much with the bipolar. And so, yeah, and then I've been on medication, and I'm still on the medication for the bipolar. But the symptoms still come through, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't for a long time. They didn't for like 3 years. And now they're like, hey girl, I'm back. And so that's like the problem that I'm like dealing with right now. It's like a mixed episode. And I'm like, girl, go away. I don't want you here. And I feel like irritable, and I feel like, not myself, and I feel depressed. And yeah, I just really don't know what to do with myself. And I feel like this is the point where I would be normally like slipping back into those old ways of like drugs and, alcohol and like shit of that nature. But I don't want to. Um, just because I'm older now, like I'm 27, I'm about to be 28, and like that's just not like, I want to elevate and I want to go further in my life. Like there's a bunch of things that I said that I wanted to do that I never got around to, like, having my own radio show. Like I don't know if I'll do that, but I at least want to freelance. The fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like at least do something yourself. And that's something I've always been big about, is that even though like maybe I'll never be on Sirius XM or iHeartRadio, but I can at least freelance and be on freaking whatchamacallit, SoundCloud. Like at least do something, because this is my one and only life. Like I gotta be the star in my own life. So I gotta at least do that, a little Anchor FM action. I said I would do that, I said I would write a book, like I can self-publish, the fuck, like I've been saying I could do that, since I was a kid, and so I should at least do that. Like I have so many ideas that I just never got around to, and those are creative things, and those are passions that like fuel me, and I feel like maybe I should just replace, the bad things that I used to do, like drugs and like men and like drinking and like all that shit. I could replace it with that, but I feel like that's so much more energy. But finding drugs, that takes a lot of energy too, and a lot of money, and a lot of time trying to hide that shit. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna say what I did to hide that shit, but it was not kosher. Um, so yeah, well, it really wasn't that bad. So whatever you're thinking, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, no, but it's kind of silly. So, but I don't want to give people ideas. You can hit me up sometime and ask me. But yeah, so I just don't know. I just gotta get into that mode. Um, yeah, but I have dark thoughts. I have suicidal thoughts come into my mind, and I don't want them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. And it sucks because, like, on the outside, like, I look fine or whatever, but, like, I'm literally not. And, like, that's the part that, like, gets me and the part that I don't like. But it's like, what do I have to do? Do I have to like scream and like ask like I need help or like like I'm not good, especially when I got a smile like this. Like I got a wonderful smile and everything, and I'm not gonna stop smiling even when I'm upset. So people think I'm unserious or like that is not that bad, but it really is. And like I know that this is serious and that I could like end up taking my life, but other people don't understand how deep it is. But I also don't want people to worry. So it's a lot. And the reason why I'm saying this on the internet isn't for anybody to feel bad for me or anything of that nature. It's just one, I want to be understood, but also I know that people watching this can understand 100%, because I'll be watching YouTube videos sometimes and I'm like, oh, that person understands. And I know that some people will watch this and never comment or anything, and that's okay. But if somebody watches understands me, I did my job. And so that's why I'm making this video. And that's it. Like, I'm not asking for anything, but that's literally it. I just want to help people, make people feel less alone. And I want to get some things off my chest because this does help me too. And I feel like if we can connect, that's it. That's it. I always high five myself when I'm like working out. When I'm done, I always high five. But yeah. So anyway, so I'm starting 75 hard again. I did 75 light before, which was basically that was just 75 days no drinking. I love to drink. I'm gonna drink again, honestly. I'm not cutting it out completely. I'm not gonna go to AA or do anything like that. I don't need rehab. Like, at one point, I thought like I was an addict or something of that nature. I have unhealthy coping mechanisms, like I talked about, and until I can come up with coping mechanisms that are healthy, I feel like I need to limit that a lot. When I'm in a good state of my mind and a good place in my life, hell yeah, let's fucking go. Um, but while I'm feeling this way, low, in the dumps, I don't need to be drinking. I need to be in the gym. I need to be working out. I need to be reading books. Um, and so that's why I feel like it's a good time to do this challenge. And yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I have a gym membership. I use it once a week. But now I will be using it every day of the week, which we love. And yeah, I work out at my house, so I work out pretty much every day. So love that. I'll work out with Chloe, Miss Chloe Ting. We need a new challenge because I'm bored. Yeah. So that's kind of what's up with me. Bad things, but hopefully good things are on the horizon. And yeah, you'll see some vlogs coming up, holidays coming up, and I'm definitely excited for that. So, yeah. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully, you guys are good, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.